So it was a funny story, guys. See?
Yeah,
that was funny.
Yeah, that was funny.
That was
Fucking funny.
That was
Laugh
funny.
at our pain. Laugh at our pain.
Welcome to the 180th episode of the Casa Ends Creation. I'm your host, Chris Deering. This is the show to review bands and public figures from the Mathcore adjacent community. If you could please like, subscribe to all the things social, every little bit helps. Feel free to join us every Sunday and Wednesday for the live cast. You can interact with the guests or just hang out in the chat. You can also subscribe to this Twitch channel for just $5 to get access to the interviews before they hit YouTube and other streaming platforms. You can also get exclusive emotes if you also subscribe. And you can do that for free by attaching your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account. It's like taking $5 from Jeff Bezos' pocket and putting it into mine. My new EP, Unicorn Laser Bubblegum City, is out on all platforms. Also got some sick merch for you to check out. Go to my Bandcamp, the Sound That Ends Creation on bandcamp.com. Check that stuff out. With all that out of the way, let me introduce our guest today, who dropped their self-titled and first album in 10 years back in October through Silent Pendulum Records. Welcome in Dr. Acula. How's it going, guys?
Hey, what's
What
up?
you doing?
Hey.
I'm doing pretty
Going
good.
on?
Thank you guys for joining. Why don't we go around and you tell us who you are, what you do in the band. We'll start with Bill.
I am Bill. I play guitar.
Yes, Jay?
My bad. I'm Jay. I play drum.
Okay.
Great.
Lou?
I'm Rob.
Okay.
Wow.
Lou. I'm Lou, and I
Yes.
play Rob.
He's a liar. He's a liar and a thief.
I'm Lou, and I play guitar.
That makes me Rob, and I do vocals.
Alrighty. So Rachel Music says that y'all formed in 2005. Is that about right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. So what's that, like fucking 17 years ago? That's crazy, man.
Oh, yeah.
Too many.
Yep.
So how did you guys come together to begin with?
We kind of just we got together at school pretty much for the most part. We went to college together, and nobody went to class, and we all just kind of hung out, and then we had this stupid idea for the band and called Bill about it, and yeah, and then we just started playing.
Because it was a joke at first, right? Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, we weren't taking ourselves very seriously, but basically how it all started was we had a friend who was a promoter, and he asked, forget who he asked, but he basically asked one of us if we were in a band because we had a show with Genghis Tron, and we just kind of said, yeah, we're a band. We're called Dr. Acula.
We all
And-
played music in other bands
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
So it was just kind of we all met each other and we're like, oh, we already all play these things. Let's play
Yeah.
them together. And
Right,
then,
yeah.
just had fun. Yeah.
Yeah. So we just formed the band and wrote basically trilogy, those first 4 or 5 songs in a couple of weeks and played a show.
That's fucking sick.
Yeah.
We did play a show. Was that before or because we played a show in someone's living room? Is that before
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
that was right after we wrote those songs. We're like, all right, let's try them out, and then we played the show. I think a week later.
I think that was the night of our first practice. Then we played in someone's living room.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it might have been.
Pretty sick.
Pretty much.
That's awesome. So Rate Your Music has a bio, and the only thing it says is Dr. Acula's name was taken from a routine by the late stand-up comedian Mitch Hedberg. So is that correct or
Yeah, it's not from
Yeah, that's
Scrubs.
correct.
okay.
Uh-huh.
What's the routine?
The first demo starts with it. So if you listen to Trilogy, Vampire Breath is the first song and starts with a sample. I went to the doctor. All he did was suck blood from my neck. Don't go see Dr. Acula. And that's basically it. That was the whole bit. But then Scrubs, I think, used it after he died, which we did that in what was it, 2005, and then I think the Scrubs episode came out in 2006.
Yeah, we're
As
right
a
after.
tribute to him. Yeah.
So yeah, your first release, Chillology, you already said that, 2006. Then you did your debut album, Silver Lipped Operator of Bullshit. I like that better than saying slaw, by the way. On 187 Records. How did you hook up with 187 Records?
God.
That's like a legendary label at
I
this
was
point.
like,
So it's,
that's
I don't remember.
That's a
Some sort of
distant
I
memory.
mean, we might have contacted them, or I don't remember. I really don't.
it's a very
It was
distant
through-
memory.
Probably through a MySpace message.
Who was on the label? There was some other band on the label.
there's a
that
lot.
made-
Wasn't Tower of Rome on that label?
I think
Oh yeah, that's right.
I think
I
so.
think it
Wasn't
was-
Abacab on
it
there
was
too?
Abacab because we played
Yeah.
with Abacab, and I think that's how they had reached out or something like that.
That might have been it. Yeah, we might have met them through Abacab.
So then after that, you have a huge lineup change for Below Me. So what happened in 2007?
We all just like went crazy and started kicking each other out. No, we were just like 19-year-old kids, and everything was like egos and being fucking stupid. And we were getting drunk and shitty together all the time. And like, you know, it was just fuck this guy, fuck that guy. And
Yeah.
Oh, you
Wait,
do
no.
write songs about like cocaine avalanches and shit like that, right? So
yeah, I guess. Mostly just alcohol back then, I would think.
Yeah.
At least
Uh,
at that point.
oh, that might have been later on but
No, it wasn't.
so you said you Uprising. What was it like moving up to Uprising? That was like a pretty big label at the time, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was cool. It was exciting. They were I forget how we hooked up with them too. I'm really don't have a lot of information here.
No, you're all good, you're all good.
To be honest with you, I don't remember how we got hooked up with them. I just remember them, appearing and that being a really cool thing. And we did a couple cool tours that they hooked us up with, and that was when we first did our like first real touring.
Yeah.
2007, 2008. We got out. We went pretty much like across the country a few times, and it was cool. Yeah.
So then you guys end up kicking everybody out but Bill, and Bill became the only member. So how has that like affected y'all's relationship so far? Because now y'all are back and you're like doing this together again. How do you go from Bill being the only guy in the band left, and then everybody coming back?
I think it's more like, like Lou said earlier, we were young, stupid kids, just kicking each other around, kicking each other out. And when the idea came up that just to do it again, it was more like, we were like that. We were just stupid when we were younger. Let's try it again, see what happens.
It also helps that nobody in here was a kicker or a conspirator or anything like that. We pretty much like trimmed the band back down for this older lineup, I guess. But it came together pretty naturally.
But yeah, over the years y'all have had 23 members, which is pretty mind-boggling for one band. But yeah, you came back together 2015, I think, with you guys, just the original lineup. Was that right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So
This
I
is
guess
a one-off.
So I guess that was just like when you guys finally like made up, I guess, and
Yeah, you can say that. It was just like a one-off that we did for like a 15-year kind of thing. Didn't really amount to much till the second time, like in 2019 when we tried again.
And then the album came about. I'm assuming it's like just locked down and everybody's fuck. Why not?
Pretty much. I mean, we kind of decided to do it a little bit before COVID hit. Like we played those shows in December, and what COVID was until March. So by the time we played the show in December, we had already, I think we put out Egg Monsters in November 2019, like the demo of it. And at that point, we decided we were going to do something. We didn't know if it was going to be a whole album or just an EP or whatever. And then we all had shitloads of time on our hands for like a year. So we pretty much just like put together an album worth of material. And even though we had like a year, we still wound up writing like one song or two songs at the last second as we were going into the studio. So
Really?
yeah. Well, it's like, you have all the time in the world, basically, like with the pandemic, you tend to like overwork songs, I guess. So we spent a lot of time just like, I guess, rehashing things and retreading things, and ultimately in some cases just going back to the first idea. So, but yeah, it was a cool process doing it remotely. We had never done anything like that before.
Yeah.
Well, how would you say your sound has evolved since the band was last together?
Immensely.
I
It's a
agree.
totally
It's a
different-
lot. Yeah.
It's like you can still, I don't know, me personally, you can still feel that like the feeling that we've always had is there, but it's just like we're just like a different group of guys now. We all matured in different ways, and we took what we did then and made it like a more grown up kind of thing now, instead of being like, oh, let's party, like let's see what happens after the party when nobody posts about it or has some bullshit story about how great life is, like just put the reality out there.
You guys have anything else to add, Rob and Lou? Like how this sounds
I
evolved?
mean, we tried to put like elements of the entire band's catalog in there. So, I mean, for me, I'm the only recordings I'm on are the Slob album. So for me, vocally, it was like a huge, because I mean, on that album, it's just high screams and like goofiness. So for me, I was able to, had the chance to evolve my sound too with the rest of the band, which was awesome. So I think just over the years, we kind of pulled elements from throughout the whole band's catalog and put out something that kind of reminds you of the old us, because it is the old us, but it's got like a more mature vibe. And me being the only vocalist for the first time is because there was always two singers. I was able to fucking go all over the place and try out new things. So that was cool.
Yeah, your performance is incredible, by the way. So
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I think another part of it is like we have, well, I mean, 10 years have passed, so we're marginally just a little bit better at what we're at our instruments in general, and then we also probably have better equipment than we did back then. So, and just it like the pandemic really gave us a lot of time to like learn new shit too. So, we learned a few things about like, getting the sound that we wanted and sort of put that into practice for this record.
the production is way better than anything that y'all have done before. So yeah, that it's so fucking good. Like, anyway, so Jay, you're seeing all this from like outside. You weren't writing on the album or anything, but now you're drummer for Dr. Acula. How did you get involved with them, and what do you think of like the direction that's going? I mean, obviously you think it's great because you're in the band, but what are your perspectives?
Well, so I got a message from Rob on Instagram, right? I mean, you saw like one of my drum covers. And so in my last band, Rob had actually done a feature on one of our songs. And I think that's kind of how we wound up being on one another's radars. So when those drum covers went up, he shot me a message and then just tried out and it worked. We gelled. We were able to like, adapt to one another's like styles and like, all sorts of stuff. So it was really easy. And then as far as like what the direction is now, like I grew up like listening to Dr. Acula. I only really, really got into Dr. Acula in like the past like 3 years. But it's like crazy joining a band that I've always known about and now that I'm like a big fan of. And then, as someone who like didn't write on the record, I think I can say that it's my favorite album to date that's been put out. And these are my favorite songs to play too out of the songs on our catalog. So that's my take on like the current state of the band.
I have to agree. This is by far y'all's best album. This is so fucking good. Like, not like it's way heavier than what you were doing before, I feel like, but it's also more melodic, I guess. It's really bridging the gap between that nostalgic feeling of like the old melodic deathcore with like the new brutal shit. I feel like there's a good bridge between that. And I really like your use of electronics on here, like that interlude that y'all have playing. So fucking fire. That's so good. But yeah, just like the build-ups and the releases and stuff, everything is coordinated, like I feel like almost perfectly. Like this might be like one of like a 10 out of 10 for me, honestly. This is such a really, really fucking good record. When I have to admit, when I first thought y'all were coming back, I was like, oh, I wonder if they'll, live up to like the name or whatever. It might not be as good. But dude, y'all fucking blew it out of the water. This is so fucking good. I have to say, this is amazing.
Thank you, dude.
Yeah, I'm done sucking your dick for now. But yeah, this was really fucking good.
Yeah, man. Thanks.
So what were your influences back in the day when you got started, and how has that evolved now? Because y'all were doing some weird shit back in the day.
We still do some weird shit.
You still do some weird shit. Back in the day, especially. Like, I feel like that wasn't really explored.
Musically, probably like Converge, Daughters, Locust, yeah. Some Girls, like that whole, noisy hardcore bands.
Yeah, not the
For
best.
sure.
Not the
Every
most
time I
solid
die,
quality.
always,
Always.
so vocally, I don't know what Rob was doing.
I don't think he knew.
I don't think I knew.
He was doing a lot of vodka at the time. I think it was
a lot of vodka, a lot of no clothes.
Yeah.
A lot of no clothes.
Yeah, Rob recorded Slob naked.
Yeah.
Wait, for
Pretty
real?
much.
That's
Pretty-
fucking crazy.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Does that like
I
help
was
you
being-
somehow, or?
No, I was just being heavily encouraged and being fed vodka the entire time I was in the recording booth, and nobody stops me. And all those goofy noises, if I could go back, I would probably not do a lot of them, but it did gain us some weird popularity in a way. I mean, people love that album, so it's one of those things. I appreciate it, thank you, but I was just being I was being a slob.
I was born in the moment. It was very authentic for the moment.
So what about nowadays? Where are you pulling influences from now?
My biggest is every time I die. Yeah. I mean, you can't get away from it.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, fuck. Every time I die. But, there's a lot of heavy bands that I'll listen to. And I mean, Black Dahlia, I have always listened to, even the later stuff. Fit for an Autopsy recently. The vocal work on that. And we're friends. We're friendly with Joe Bad. So, yeah. But every time I always go back to Every Time I Die.
Yeah, there was a lot of different stuff, I think, on this for me. Like I went through a lot of phases of listening music during the pandemic when that was all that there was to do, basically.
Yeah.
And I mean, like I definitely went through like I'm a Sugar Trip for a couple of weeks. Like that's in there. There's some grooves on this record, and I mean, like I was listening to trap music for a bit, and that inspired a bit, and like just a whole lot of different stuff. So,
okay. Well, it feels like this is like kind of just the beginning of like y'all's sound. Like I feel like this could go a lot further, so I'm interested to see where y'all end up taking this in the future. Especially the electronic element. I feel like that is so well placed in here. So, So obviously there's been a bunch of different lyricists with different like ideas and such. Rob, I'm assuming you handle the lyrics for this one.
I actually don't. Rob Garino, our bass player, is a really good lyricist. And,
it's very good.
Yeah, he's really good. And Lou wrote a lot of lyrics on this one too. So it's very much a collaborative effort. Lou wrote "Stay Out of the Basement," which is my personal favorite song. So lyrically, he put that one together. But I mean, with the pandemic, it was sending each other riffs. It was sending each other like vocal like melodies, or how things like how Rob wanted some part to sound, or what Lou wanted me to do on a certain part. Like would just like yell them out kind of, and I would just pick where to go low, where to go high, where to do a mid yell, and it just kind of worked that way. So I wrote Scarecrow, the lyrics on that one.
Okay,
that's a great one. Yeah.
I could only.
We bounce ideas back and forth, which is it works pretty well.
I could only find lyrics from "The Abominable Snowman of Pasadena" down to think it was the interlude is where it ended for me. So I didn't get to read lyrics for all of them. But what I did
Spotify
read,
should have them up soon.
okay,
Yeah,
I didn't know
I
Spotify did lyrics. Okay, I need to check that out then.
You have to like format them correctly. So I don't think they were submitted on the time that the album, or they were rejected or something like that. But it's being fixed, so they'll be up there eventually.
Okay, cool. I just I think I found them on Genius as well. But yeah, so you tell like horror stories and such. I guess is like the basic idea of everything, right?
Yeah,
Kind of, yeah.
you could call real life a horror story. So
Yeah, some of them are taken from real life,
Yeah.
just events, elaborated on events. But we, each song on this album kind of has its own tale, and all these tales kind of warp into one overarching theme, which was we've never done anything like that before.
What's
It
the
just seems
overarching
to-
thing?
what was that?
I said, what's
You
the
wanna take that one?
overarching theme?
Illusion.
It's just sort of like it's a hell loop. So it's like somebody basically, and the record does loop over if you listen to it, like, so it repeats on Spotify. You'll hear like the sound sort of continues back into the outro, continues back into the beginning, but it's basically just like a cyclical, like, hell loop.
Okay, that's fucking
Yeah.
sick.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah. So who helped record this? I couldn't find any information on recording.
His name was Anthony Lepardo and Ray. I can't remember his last name, but Ray, the drummer of Moontooth.
Marte.
Oh, okay, those guys are sick.
Mar-
Marte, that's
Marte.
it. Yeah, Marte. Two really cool guys to work with. They really put in a lot of work to what they're doing with no matter who they're working with. So,
Nice.
and we've known like the few of us have known Anthony for at least a while because we've played shows with bands he's been in, and we actually recorded the original demos for "You Can't Scare Me" and what was it, "Beast from the East" in his basement before he moved into an actual studio like 2 or 3 years later.
Yeah.
So we got like our actual like couple other demo stuff like in his house, like, which was cool.
Oh, sick. So you guys have been working together for a long time then.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah, we've known him a while.
Well,
It's
he did
Wes-
a
it's-
fantastic job because production on here is like sick as fuck. So
It's
he did a
Westfall
great
Recording Company. I don't know if anyone mentioned that.
what was it again?
Westfall Recording Company on Long Island.
And y'all had a guest on here, Kyle Medina. That's the dude from Body Snatcher, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's fucking sick. How have y'all known Kyle? I guess played shows with him and stuff.
No, he's
No.
actually he actually is like a fan of our band, or I'd grown up listening because he's pretty young. So I had actually shipped him shirts that he purchased. So we were like, hey, he's either a fan or he's bought something, and we checked he was following us. And I'm a fan of his band, like huge fan. I love Body Snatcher. So I was listening to them at the time a lot. And when we were recording the last song of the album, Barking Ghosts, at the end where it has that "you fucking bitch" part, that wasn't there, but it was so heavy that I felt like we need something there. So I said it, and I was like, how cool would it be if like we just asked him? So I just like I DM'd him like, hey, you want to do a feature? And he was like, fuck yeah. So it worked out really well.
That's sick.
And now we're homies. So that's cool. We just saw them. They played with Hatebreed on Long Island. It was incredible.
Yeah, it was
Right.
Fucking dope. So yeah, we have the artwork up on stream. Who did the art for this?
that is Dan Buxa, a good friend
Hell
of
yeah.
ours. And he does comic art, and we do have a comic coming out.
Oh
Of,
shit, that's sick.
Yeah, basically we're
This is
doing we did an order for the comic when the album came out, and it's basically going to be a comic that helps to illustrate the concept of the album a little bit. So it just kind of deepens the experience a little bit. It's just fucking cool art. He did a really, as you could tell, the album cover is sick, and it's even better art, I think, inside of the comic book. Like, he really does some great stuff. He just did the show flyer for the release show, which is going to be December 9th at Amityville Music Hall, and I think it's probably one of like the coolest art pieces that he did, and we like
Yeah.
put that up on Twitter. and you know, on all the socials, Instagram,
Like,
you know.
I don't personally know him as well as like Lou and Rob know him, but like I don't know many people whose art has really just made me be like, oh wow, like what the hell is that? Like this is one dude that's really like really brought my attention to like art again, like, you know, because I've been more music than like drawing, but like now it just brings it all as like one, like brings it together kind of thing, I feel.
Oh yeah. Does this image like relate to the concept at all, or is it just a cool piece of art?
It's the cover of the album, like the monster from the cover of the album.
That is the cover of the album.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's a little different than the actual.
Oh,
cover, though.
the flyer you were showing me is what you're talking about. No, I'm talking about on the album.
Yeah.
On the album art. Does the
Yeah.
album art relate to the theme? I'm sorry.
That was my fault.
Yeah. The monster on the cover is like the thing that's tormenting this guy that's stuck in the loop, and like, you know, and you'll see there's like sort of a protagonist kind of narrator, I guess, of the story, who lyrics are somewhat told like through his perspective, and the monster is basically the thing that is, you know, kind of vexing him or her.
So you got a comic book coming out. Were y'all like comic book kids growing up?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I
you
was
got
a
like
Marvel
huge
kid.
collections,
Still
huge
am.
collections and shit. Oh, you still are? That's fucking sick.
Yeah.
What's
I gotta stop
favorite
myself
comic?
from buying stuff. Like of all time, favorite like series or mini.
You tell me.
Uh, I mean anything turtles, but my favorite like
Hell
book-
yeah.
Anything turtles? What do you mean? Like,
yeah, anything Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Yeah, anything.
Really?
Normal
Okay.
Turtles.
Yeah, all of them. They're all fun. But of all time, Batman Long Halloween. It's an incredible book.
what
Yeah,
about
They made 2 animated movies on it too.
what about y'all, Bill and Lou? What do y'all like to look at?
I'm definitely a diehard Ninja Turtles guy, and Spider-Man, Batman, all that stuff, like everything, like all the Marvel stuff, DC stuff. It's just, I don't know, all the nostalgia kind of stuff from when we were growing up. So
That's interesting.
Yeah, I used to get Marvel stuff when I was a kid. I don't really collect comics anymore though. I'll read
it's more
like
toys for me.
I've moved
Yeah.
on to toys. Actually, I was gonna say, I'm just looking at my shelf and I've almost filled it with fucking Marvel toys.
That's fucking.
I can curse on this thing, right? I'm sorry.
Yeah. I've been cussing this whole time.
Sure,
So, yeah.
Okay.
So you guys also did a music. For How to Kill a Monster. Got it playing now. So how did the video come about?
That's a funny story.
Tell it.
Story.
tell it.
Tell the story.
Tell the
Funny
story.
story, Rob.
so funny.
No,
tell it.
I mean it's not a funny story.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. No. You said it was funny. Tell me how it was funny.
Yeah, tell me the funny part.
How
Yeah, tell
funny
me.
are-
Well, we shot a whole video in my garage, and it didn't come out great, so we scrapped it. And then we shot this video, which came out incredible, and we put it out. So it was funny because we did all the work, and then we're like, we could do better, you know.
That's what's funny about
But
it.
That was
That was
hilarious.
a funny
no,
story. That
So
was
funny
like
now.
you should tell it again. That
we
was-
could do way better. So we
Still
rented
funny
out a
now.
studio and did it the right way.
That's so good. Well, I mean, it's a cool video.
It was funny because we were hanging tarps up in my garage like
Yeah.
fucking idiots.
Yeah, we were hanging tarps up, and we have like fake blood and shit, and then we were like, I don't want to get fake blood on me, and then I'm like, yeah, and then I was fucking stupid and kind of just didn't do anything with it.
So
and
it
then,
said release the bad
did
one.
This.
I will release the bad one. I have some clips of it.
Oh God.
It's like a video where someone's like killing the band or something like that with the fake blood.
No,
It
we
really
were gonna
was
because
just-
it was for How to
We didn't
Kill a
get there,
Monster,
yeah.
so we were gonna do like killing the monster, but nobody really wanted to do it. We never really got to like, you know, the part where we actually.
There was just live
on
footage
stage,
of
but-
us in my garage with a tarp.
Yeah, it was just us standing in front, very obviously in a garage in front
Yeah.
of a fucking cheap ass tarp.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
What a day. What a day.
Alternating black and white clothing.
Yes.
we were like, oh, what if we like, you know, we can make it like it's a containment unit, like ET with all the plastic and shit hanging everywhere. And like, you can tell this is very much a garage with a one-ply tarp hanging on the wall.
It was like, we put a random
Painting their
CRT.
apartment.
Yeah, we had a random CRT monitor in the corner, like,
yeah,
playing
for no
static
reason.
for
yeah,
no reason.
One.
yeah.
Well, I mean,
monitor.
those ideas evolved. I mean, looking at the video now, we're in that TV room.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
got
we have
like
a whole-
fucking 12 of them now or something.
We rented that
12
place out.
TVs.
And,
Yeah, and that
Yeah.
space.
oh
was
yeah,
tight.
we were projecting. I had my projector, and we were projecting on the garage wall. So
Yeah.
we actually have the projector hooked into those TVs
Which
and we played
also
one-
just looked like a projector on a garage
on a
wall.
garage wall.
Yeah, yeah. So that.
Watch carefully. You see Rob's wife checking the mail.
yeah.
I had to clean my garage for a week just to shoot that, and then we scrapped the whole thing.
That's the worst
Yeah.
part. Like put in.
So it was a funny story, guys. See,
Uh,
Yeah, it was funny.
Yeah, that was funny.
That was
it's fucking funny.
That was
Laugh
funny.
at our pain. Laugh at our pain.
give it an 8 out of 10. So what's the plans for the future? Are you guys heading out on tour or what got going on?
We're gonna play these shows and kind of see what happens, and you know, maybe we'll get back to writing and do a little bit of that and see where that goes, or like we'll play some shows if they come up. You know, we're not really looking to do like a full blown tour, but you know, we're always like fielding offers, and if we can travel to where we're wanted, then we'll do that. You know.
So you're not like planning to go to like the West Coast or anything like that anytime soon?
I would love to go to the West Coast. We just got to get there by like an airplane because nobody really can take like 2 weeks away from our jobs and like, you know, drive. So
Gotcha. You got a bunch of adult shit to do. I gotcha.
yeah.
We were just in like Chicago and Ohio and Detroit with Burials, Orthodox, and Distinguisher.
That's fucking sick.
Please correct me if I'm forgetting anybody, but
Mm.
that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun to get out that way again for the first time, and I don't even know how long. Honestly, it was just very refreshing.
It felt like a 30-day tour, so it counts.
Yeah.
My body feels like it.
ESA takes like 2 days worth of energy out of you, so
It does. It takes your whole life away. The fucking airport.
yeah,
Yeah.
But-
Flying's rough.
we're willing to put in the work if the opportunity is right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely a big lift to like, you know, get all the gear and put it on a fucking plane, and that's brutal in and of itself. And then just like, you know, being up early in the morning, flying, playing a show that night, like it's a long ass day, and it's, you know, it's a long couple of days, however long we do it for. But it's you know, we'll do it if we can make it work, like financially, and you know, get the time to get out there, then totally.
We just lost Jay, by the way. I don't know what happened with him, but
We lost Jay a long time ago.
Yeah, he's
We'll get Jay back.
goblins.
Alexis says do another tour with PS You're Dead, so I can see that.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Where do you live?
It comes around.
PS Your Dead is great, so yeah, we'd love to.
Oh yeah, they're sick. Do you have any plans to do like other music videos or anything like that? Seems like y'all are the kind of band that could take like a concept and like, you know, run with it.
Yeah, I think
we
we're going to.
actually may do one more for this album. But we were talking about that, but we haven't locked it down yet. But I would expect one more.
Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to get the scene to look good again since he closes camera.
Alexis said Canada, so sure. Poutine and maple syrup. Let's go.
Oh, it's Jisei Alexis. Yeah, the fucking sick band. He's in a band called Jisei. You should check it.
Well, they're from
Oh, sick.
Buffalo, so that's easy for them. You could hit them up. They'll probably come tomorrow.
So I was told to ask you guys about Chicken Lightning.
Oh,
chicken fried
man.
lightning. Yeah. Chicken
Hey,
fried
Jay's
lightning.
back. Hi, Jay.
Hey, it's Shay.
Hey, sorry about that.
So, what is
All right,
chicken lightning?
There you go, Lou.
Chicken fried lightning is a it's an American rock and roll.
It's a restaurant.
It's an American
No.
rock and roll band from somewhere you ain't ever gonna be.
Okay.
No, we just we played like that was Tyler, so our old singer Tyler. I think that was his joke, and he was like, he would always be like chicken fried lightning in like a southern accent, and we always joked about being a southern rock band because it was like the early to mid 2000s, and that was fashionable. So we always joked about that, and then one night we played a show where like at the last second the promoter changed the venue, didn't tell anybody, literally one person showed up. We didn't even find out until like 20 minutes before load in. So one person showed up, so we're like, all right, we're gonna play the show Chicken Fried Lightning. And we went out and we played Dr. Acula's songs, but we just like acted like we would if we were like an American hard rock band, I guess. I don't know. It was something you had to see to properly understand.
I'm assuming video doesn't exist of it, right?
Probably not, because there was one guy and I don't remember him having a video camera. So,
Thank you, Jeff.
but it was funny. I told you to ask that.
You had to be there.
It's-
You had to be that one guy.
They told me not to tell you their names.
Okay. All right. I'll respect their privacy.
So
Sean
y'all
Harvey.
obviously played a fuck
Sean
ton of
Harvey.
shows. What's the best show you guys have played?
Oh,
The
geez.
best show we've ever played.
Yeah.
As this current band, I think the best show we've played together was probably at AMH, like earlier in the year. I would think maybe. I forget what
Yeah.
show it was. Oh no, See You Space Cowboy. See You Space Cowboy, I think, was our best show.
that
That
Jay's
was a lot
first
of
show?
fun.
That was my first show. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
was
went
Jay's-
really well though. That
That was
sounds.
Jay's first show.
Yeah, we always sound good
Nice.
at AMH, so it's always a good show. I feel like.
Yeah, that's probably the best one since we've been back in
Were-
our history. I don't know. That's a long history.
Jay, were you nervous for that first show? I bet you were just like sweating bullets and shit. I would be.
No, actually, I don't know what it was. There's something about like, being with people who are veterans where I just feel really, really comfortable. Like they know what to do if something goes wrong. So it's like getting like practice also. Like my first practice with these guys, I would make a mistake and we just keep going through it. Like it was a live performance right off the bat. And so like with that kind of cushion, really effective practice, really efficient practice. It just, I don't know, it was really easy. And also we weren't, it was less stress because we weren't like last on. I think we were second on. And I don't know, it was a tighter set. We had been practicing actually a longer set for an upcoming tour. So it was almost like getting a light version, like a sample of what I'd be doing. So I was more nervous for the tour shows that happened later where we were headlining. Felt like we had to do a lot more,
So what's your favorite show?
That one was a ton of fun. And like, also, I think Long Island, I mean, I expect it to be this way, has the most Dr. Acula fans, definitely like the most diehards. There was like so many people like, showing up and like, really stoked on us. So that was a lot of fun. That was like a really cool time. And then we also just played a show, a few shows with Varials, and those were all like awesome.
Hell yeah. Is that y'all's like first like I guess tour after coming back?
Back in July.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
did the headline
July.
shows in July.
Did a few
that's right.
days,
You
yeah,
did some
with,
stuff with
PSU
Zombie
Dead.
Shark, right? Oh no, it's PSU Dead. Okay.
PSU Dead, yeah. Zombie Shark was on the Philly date though.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
first day of tour, yeah.
So Rob and Bill, what about y'all? Favorite show?
Is this definitely with these guys, like this group, because I know I can have like God know how many answers.
Yeah, let's
There's
do one
so
for
many
the
years.
current iteration of the band and then for all time because I'm really
All right.
interested to hear like the old shows.
All right. for this one, it would definitely have to be what they said, like "See You, Space Cowboy," and everything like that. It just like really opened my eyes to realize like where we were, like where I came from, and where we're at now. Because
I
like,
guess like how many people are still into y'all or whatever.
yeah, it kind of just blew my mind because I've never been like the most confident freaking person on the planet, but like just to see that like people still gave a shit really like opened my eyes to like things I took for granted when when it was just me and other people.
Hmm.
And as far as like anything beyond that, like God, like definitely Bamboozles up there in 2009.
I was
played
told to
tennis-
actually ask you about that. I guess there's a good story behind that.
I don't know about a good story, but it was just a great experience to be up there with the sea of people watching you.
How many people do you
Sweat
think you
because-
played to?
God, Jesus Christ. I have no idea. It was a lot though. It was like a
There's definitely a couple thousand people. That was
Yeah.
like that event was significant to me because that was the first time that we've ever played somewhere with a sound booth and we had a circle pit around the sound booth.
yeah, that was
That
insane.
that was a significant milestone in my career. Being on stage for a circle pit around the sound booth.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that was sick. Another sick show was probably we played in Mexico with Between the Buried and Me.
Yeah.
That was fucking
What?
nuts.
That's wild.
Yeah, it was Monterrey, Mexico. Randomly ran because we had been on tour in Mexico, which all of those shows were insane. We're playing to hundreds of kids in Mexico, and they're all fucking nuts. But yeah, Monterey with Between the Buried and Me, it was crazy. It was like 6 stage, really nice venue, probably 1,000 people there. It was packed out, at least a few hundred people. And it was just a sick show. It was a lot of fun.
Dude, that is
And
so
like,
sick.
yeah, it was really cool. And they were nice guys too.
Rob?
I mean, not to piggyback on everyone's answers, but I definitely think that the CU Space Cowboy show was huge for us. Sold it out, I believe, or close to it. And every time we play Long Island, it's just special. Especially AMH because I've been playing there. I mean, all of us have been playing there, but you know, in other bands too. I mean, since we were like 16, playing at that place, you know, under different names. So playing there and then having all, you know, playing to some new fans, but then having a lot of people show up for us too, and having like a really good, one, a good set, but two, like a really good crowd response, was really cool. You know, so many years later, especially since I haven't been in the band, you know, in a long time. So that was pretty sick.
Goose Zero's asking what year was that BT Bam show? Was it Colors era?
It
Yeah.
was Colors era. It was
Like right
2000
after it came out.
It was 2008, and I think they had toured Colors in America once, and they played most of it when we saw them. When we played with them, they played most of it. I think the only song they didn't play was like "Ants in the Sky," and I was like, "Why did they skip that song?" It's like my favorite song. But other than that, they played most of the rest of it.
That's sick. Yeah, Rob, what was like a favorite show of yours back in the day, if you can remember any of them?
I don't remember who was on the bill, but we played like a huge festival in Virginia Beach. No, Virginia Beach.
No, a guy in the chat just dropped the tracks.
What was that festival we played in Virginia Beach?
That was at Club Relevant,
Yep.
and we played with Alicia, Arsonist
Yep.
Got All the Girls.
Mhm.
Who else was on that show?
Motionless in White.
Really?
I think they played that. Yep.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't remember.
God damn, that must have been
That
like
show,
when they're
yeah.
like all those bands are like coming up too.
They were coming up. Yeah, and
Let me see
I
if we
believe,
can find.
I believe on that same tour we played with Attila. Like they had played like a couple bands before us.
Oh, that's crazy.
We played in Georgia. Yeah,
Yeah, that was at the
that
Sound
was
event in North
that was
Carolina.
the same tour. Yeah.
It was,
Um,
yeah. Club Relevant.
So yeah, those shows, being a kid and playing with like bands that are now big and that I still listen to that's fucking cool. I'll still remember it. So
Oh, it was called Juggernaut Fest.
Yeah.
Elysia with Blood
Yes.
Comes Cleansing, Whitechapel, Knights of the Abyss, Arsonist, Years Spent Cold, The World We Knew.
Jesus Christ,
World We
that's
Knew
a
played it
lineup.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
a dank. That's a dank.
I think that
fucking
was
fest.
that's my favorite show from back in the day for sure.
That
I
was
remember
Juggernaut
that
Fest.
whole fucking day, how cool it was.
I remember that well, actually. Yeah, that was a great show. That was the night we met Arsonist, get all the girls, and they
Yep.
were our friends for a very
Yeah,
long time. Great dudes.
So what's the worst shows you guys have played?
Pretty much all the other ones.
Yeah. Only
Every
the
last
Space Cowboy
one.
show.
Mine was pretty
Yeah,
recently.
Bruh.
Mine was last summer.
Oh yeah, that was rough. That was
Yes,
rough,
we played. It was last summer, right? Last July.
Yeah,
I think it was September.
yeah, it was October.
Except October. So October of
There it is.
last year. We played a show in North Carolina. It was one of our headliner shows. There was a lot of bands on it. I think there was like 8 to 10 bands that day. So it
Terrible.
was a fucking long day. And I don't think we went on until like 10:30 or 11 o'clock at night, which is insane.
It was like midnight.
That shit sucks.
Don't
It was like midnight.
don't do that, guys. Don't play 15 band bills. Nevertheless, it was a great turnout and a great show, and all the other bands were sick. But we hadn't eaten, so we were starving. So someone's genius idea was to order a bunch of Cracker Barrel DoorDash because we're all starving. Yeah, and I got like the chicken and mac and cheese combo. Fucking devoured it. No more than 20 minutes before we went on. And halfway through the set, I went in a corner, like next to the drum kit, and fucking threw up like everywhere. And
Jesus.
it wasn't a cool rock star throw up. It was just disgusting.
Yeah, it was
Fucking
gross.
mac and cheese and chicken. It smelled bad, and I wanted to
Yeah.
die right there on the stage. But I finished the set. We finished it. I like took my shirt off and was cleaning it and put like my hockey jersey back on. It was a nightmare, and I hated it, and I wish I could forget it. But here I am telling it to you.
You know, people watching you are probably like, "Oh, that's sick as fuck. He's throwing up over there, playing
Yeah.
so hard." That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, so cool. Meanwhile, I'm like, oh, God, I want to die.
Anybody else got any bad shit stories?
Probably when another vocalist of ours at the time, Pete, got like attacked.
What?
It was just like a bad fight broke out or something like that, and somebody like apparently like I don't remember too many details, but somebody like pulled a gun out and like shot it in the air, and then people were freaking out, and Pete got hit in the face with like a master lock and a sock. And we had
What
to take him to
the
the hospital
fuck?
and stuff like that. Yeah, it was just like
Oh
a
yeah, yeah. He
strange
got his
series
head.
of events.
That's
His head
crazy.
smacked.
What the fuck?
That was after the set, though. That didn't happen
Yeah.
during. A
Well, it was
show.
like just like a tiny like tattoo shop / venue kind of thing, and
Yeah,
one of the Carolinas. I don't know. It's a lot of
I think it was
alcohol.
North Carolina.
And then you wrote a lyric about it for one of those songs, right?
I don't remember about that.
Isn't there,
I
isn't
don't
there,
remember.
isn't there a hit you in the face with a master lock lyric?
That's
on,
just that was but that was just him
Yeah.
being tough.
Yeah.
Had nothing to do with
Oh,
that.
is that a Tyler lyric? I don't think we had.
That's
that was
also
a Casey thing. Yeah,
Oh, it was
that's on
Casey,
the
okay.
album We Don't Speak Of.
yeah.
And we don't really speak it. We don't really speak of that album.
Oh yeah, yeah. I wouldn't know. I guess.
We're playing a career-spanning set list, but we're not going to play it. I'm just kidding.
Forgot about that one.
Yeah.
The nation across the nation.
Now, I wasn't like super familiar with you guys before starting looking into you guys like a couple months back, and that album I was like, what the fuck is happening? Whenever I was looking across that one and like the lyrics and stuff, and yeah, so I feel like it's a good idea to be skipping it. But anyway, Jay, you have any bad show stories? Probably not with how long you've been in the band, but if you happen to have.
I mean,
Actually,
you know, there's. Whoa, what were you gonna say?
Oh no!
Yeah, no, I'll tell that one. I'll tell that one. I
No,
don't
there
think-
isn't anything to tell.
Yeah, you're right. No, every show's been perfect. I mean, look, there's been little things at shows. Every show
Yeah.
though has been like awesome. In my opinion, I've had fun. There was only one show where I was like not miserable, but I was like excited to be done when it was done. That was actually the most recent Beat Kitchen show, and that's just because it was like first show back in a while. It was really hot up there, so hot. Like my shirt was stuck to me. It was completely drenched after. So,
Damn.
but I don't know if that's like a bad show. I'd say the only really like bad thing that happened was one time I just started playing a completely different song in Virginia. We were playing, I think we were playing Sexting, and I started playing Cocaine in the middle of this build up part right before the breakdown of Sexting. I just instead started doing this monkey hi-hat blast in Cocaine, and the parts are like the same tempo and like they're very similar. And so it threw the whole band off, but I also have a habit of not looking at the band. So I just kept going and they stopped playing and I just kept going. And so, but that we recovered even from that. And it was pretty amusing actually in the moment. So pretty much good shows with these guys. Just funny shit happens, funny fucking mistakes.
That was funny.
Yeah. We recovered, so it was fun.
It's funny because like at first I thought like I was like, okay, he's playing something else, and then I'm like, oh, I know what he's playing. And then I started to play that part, and I'm like, oh wait, that's a completely different song. We're not going to be able to sell this, and I stopped playing.
we almost really pulled off an impromptu medley, which would
They
have been
literally created a medley.
I was like,
And
oh
I-
wait, that's not the same song.
And one of these days, when we're tight for time, we will actually pull out the medley.
Yeah, we'll
I'll
do.
force
We'll
it.
I just
You
looked
guys
at
won't know
Rob
what's
while
coming.
you were doing that. I looked at Rob and I'm like, do we stop or do I hit the sample for the next song? Do we stop? Or do I hit the sample for the next song? He was like, hit the, we stop, hit the sample.
It was a complicated moment, especially because I wasn't looking to help coordinate this.
We always find a way to recover though, which is good.
Yeah.
So right now, you guys don't have merch up on your sites yet. You have the CD available on through Silent Pendulum, right? That was the PC I was talking about. Okay, awesome. And you'll have
Silent
some merch.
Pendulum's Bandcamp should have some stuff still on it. We may be doing a repress or a second printing of the vinyl, so look out for that because that's crazy and they sell out real quick. So if you want these new self-titled on vinyl, definitely just keep your eyes open. And then we'll be putting shirts up soon. We have the show in Houston, Texas on the 2nd of December or 3rd, 2nd or 3rd,
Mhm.
the Saturday. So we're going to have merch for that. And I think we're printing some new stuff. And then whatever we don't sell at that festival, we'll have up online for sure. So our Bandcamp is
Goose
usually-
Zero is asking, is the vinyl sold out already? Thought it was.
It is, but yeah, we're going to do, I think a second print is definitely happening. So
Nice.
just keep your eyes open when we post about it because they sell out in literally 10 minutes and I can't even get one for myself. So
Yeah, I also missed out.
That's crazy. I did want to mention, you guys have like blown the fuck up. Like whenever y'all came back, I was looking at the Spotify numbers for your album, 50K streams on day one, which is fucking insane. So, what do you attribute that? I guess you all were like a big band the whole time, but like, bands coming back usually don't hit numbers like that. Like that's like what Frontier hits and like Sea Space Cowboy and shit like that. Like, why do you think that you were able to do so well coming back after so long?
I think we did a pretty decent job of like getting attention to it. You know, like Silent Pendulum and like, you know, Current have done a great job at really promoting and getting the PR end of it done. So that's been awesome. And I think that we've just, you know, been interacting on social media, like the Twitter and stuff. And, you know, that's gotten us and, you know, to where people were aware, at least that we were putting something out. And, you know, I think people were just genuinely excited for it. I think we released the right songs up front to get attention. And, you know, I think we just built the expectation for the record, you know, as best as we could. So we're just really happy that people noticed it off the bat, you know, because, you know, we spent like 2 years working on this friggin' thing, so we were hoping as many people were gonna hear it as possible. So we're very happy with the reception.
I feel like this might actually be the most successful comeback record. I don't know for a fact, but like nobody hits those kinds of numbers. So y'all like, y'all did a really good job with like the PR and shit like that. Alexis says probably because they hype up other bands, so there's some mutual appreciation back to them. Yeah, from what I can see, y'all seem to be pretty active community members. So, kind of getting what you do, I guess.
Thank you.
I guess we can wrap this up with your current album of the year.
Fit for an Autopsy's album's dope. That's all I got.
I have two.
Keep it going, Rob.
I have two just because I have such a different kind of music taste. So I really like this pop punk record by this band Stand Atlantic that came out called Fear. And then Spite is like the coolest, heaviest band I've heard in a long time. And they just put an album out back in August, I think.
I've heard of them. I haven't checked them out.
Would love
yet.
to play with Spite, so we should probably tweet at them a lot so they start to like us.
Oh, Spite fucking rips. That's probably my heavy album of the year.
That's my heavy album, and then Stand Atlantic would be my pop punk album. Because I'm a pop punk kid.
Probably my favorite of the year is this band High Viz. They're like a post-punk kind of Brit pop band. They have an album called Blending that's like amazing, and I've been constantly listening to it. And then there's this band Soft Kill, and they just put a record out recently, like last week I think, called Canary Yellow. And that I don't think I've listened to anything else in the past week, so that's probably going to be near the top of my list. But definitely High Viz album of the year for me.
That just leave me.
Yep.
I mean, if I'm being like fully transparent, this is kind of an eye roll answer, but like this album that was just put out is like I was listening to it as a fan, when I had just a SoundCloud link and was just trying to learn the songs, struggling through them, and like, yeah, blew my mind. So I feel very grateful to be in this project because I love this album. But if I can't,
that's really cute. Thank you.
Yeah, it's sweet.
Nice.
It's really nice of you. Yeah.
Send you,
Love you.
Welcome.
send you a T-shirt.
You're a good kid.
Sign it, John Goblin.
Yeah.
That's
Sign
our
it.
album.
Sign it, JG.
GG, so there's mystery to it. Yeah.
Yeah. Then no one knows. But I would also pick that new Black Matter device. Just so good. I just wish there was more of it. It's like listening to like Angry Beehive. It's really crazy and exhausting, and I love it.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Exhausting.
Yeah, it's nuts. Fucking off the rails.
I guess I have one other question because it just now popped in my head. If Jay didn't do the drums for the album, who did the drums for the album?
Were they programmed?
Were they?
Were they?
Okay. Oh, I did see. I did
programmed?
see that y'all put out a tweet at Mathcore Index asking if the drums were saying, "Are the drums programmed? Are the drums
I
programmed?"
think we're gonna leave that up to mystery now.
Okay.
Jay didn't do them.
Jada Doom.
Something or someone else did,
Okay.
but we don't know what it was. Could have been a computer. It could have been a guy. It could have been.
Right, it's some
It
AI
could've been
boss.
Could have been a computer guy.
It was
Could've
probably
been-
John
yeah.
Goblin.
Probably a computer guy.
No, but there is a podcast who says or thinks that they were programmed, so we're gonna roll with that and just see how long we can let that roll.
Well, they insisted.
Yeah,
But they might not have.
I don't know if they were. They might not have been programmed. I mean, it sounds.
I
like a real
wasn't
guy.
there when
no one was
they
there.
were supposedly recorded. I was so.
I was
don't know.
actually, I was the only one there, so I actually, even though I didn't do them, I'm the only one who knows. I just won't tell him.
I've heard somebody who played the drums was there
Sure.
at the time they were recorded.
That was
Okay.
Oh yeah.
All
There
right.
was drummers present. We'll say that.
The drummers there. There was also computers there.
There were more computers than drummers.
If you think, yeah,
Well, what about computer
Potentially, yeah.
drummers?
actually,
It
probably
was about
even.
equal. It was equal. It was
Equal
Yeah,
amount of
equal.
computers and drummers in the room at the time.
Actually,
Actually,
Your phone count?
all right, next
I
one.
love this bit. We gotta keep this bit going. forever.
Is there anything else you guys want to say before we head on out?
Thank you, and thank you to
Yes.
everyone listening, and like the other bands you had mentioned before that we interact with. No, thank you guys. Thank you guys for still caring at least this much to listen to our new stuff. It's definitely really appreciated, and we don't just interact with other bands like to get a reaction. Like we mean it. When we were a band, that's what other bands did for us. They took us out, and that's what we want to do now.
Oh, yeah. Well, if you're looking for a record that encapsulates both the old and the new deathcore, look no further than Dr. Acula's amazing self-titled new album, which came out back in October through Sound Records. Y'all are on Facebook, Bandcamp, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, and all streaming platforms. Are there any other websites you want to direct people to?
Google Sites.
Okay.
Google Sites, Dr. Acula. Google.sites.
Bill cracked right away.
As for me, drop my channel follow so you always know when I go live. You can also sub to get access to the interviews before they hit YouTube and other streaming platforms, as well as get some exclusive emotes. You can also do that for free by attaching Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. YouTube folks, if you enjoyed the video, please drop a like, click the notification bell. Don't forget to subscribe. It's a great way to support me for free. Check out my music, The Sound Ends Creation, at Bandcamp.com. My new EP, Unicorn Laser Bubblegum City, just dropped, and also announced a sick tour for the West Coast. My next guest is Corey Swope of Zombie Shark, who dropped their new EP, Born From a Wish, back in October through Big Money Cybergrind. Join us this Sunday the 13th at 7 p.m. Central, right here on Twitch for the live cast. Thanks for being here, y'all. Hope you had a good time.
Thank you.
Thanks, man. It was great.
Thanks.
Absolutely, and thank you guys for watching and listening.
We